Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Today we're going to take a dive into crypto and try to see when is it safe to start investing again into crypto. When is it safe to put your money back into the trading platforms, right? We know that most of the trading platforms, the places that you could purchase crypto, are privately owned companies. And so you can't see their balance sheets. That's one of the things that FTX, one of the ways why FTX could just hide what they were doing because we couldn't look. Now, when you have a publicly traded company such as Coinbase, then you can see. And you have companies like crypto.com that's going to make theirs public, right? We don't know if Binance is going to follow through, but we do know that crypto, as we are mostly finding out now, or should I say most of us are finding out now, was literally the way that these brokerages were ran was like a house of cards. And when one crumbled, it took many down. FTX has been single-handedly responsible to take down multiple exchanges, right? Does that mean that crypto is not good? No, it means that there's bad characters within crypto, right? Just like there's bad characters that rob banks. There's bad bankers. If you don't believe it, go back to the banking. Go back to 2007, 8, 9. What happened in that instance? The government, us, our tax dollars had to bail out the banking because there were some crazy people in it. Take Bernie Madoff, for example. So let's look at a few things. I'm gonna briefly go over a few things. You can watch my older videos to see exactly what's going on. And then let's see if we could see an area where we could start to invest again and not have these fears. A new bankruptcy filing shows the value of FTX's crypto holdings is just $659,000. Insane. After Sam Bankman-Fried said that they were worth $5.5 billion. So only $650,000 out of $5.5 billion left. This just hit the wire. FTX liquidators, questioned the validity of U.S. bankruptcy. And this is why he's set up in the Bahamas, right? That's why Sam Bankman and his company set up in the Bahamas, because this is normal for the Bahamas. They're not under our jurisdiction. So they're going to ask questions. We don't know how much money Sam gave to that government. We do know that he gave around 40 million to the Democratic Party here in the United States. And then his company gave almost another $30 million to Democratic. And the reason why I have to tell you it's Democratic, because there's going to be a dog and pony show. Maxine Waters will probably be sitting in a chair grilling him on Capitol Hill, Sam Bankman-Fried, right? And nothing's going to happen because she belongs to the very party that he funded all of this money. Now, we don't talk about politics. We only discuss politics as it pertains to our money, right? So now you're going to have people old enough to be his great-grandparents that don't know a thing about crypto asking him questions. Just get your popcorn. It's going to be a dog and pony show.
Yeah, Brian, so I sat down with Binance's chief strategy officer here in Chicago. He essentially said he was shocked at what they saw when they went through FTX's numbers. Reminder, this was a non-binding letter of intent. They said that they were looking to buy this deal or buy this company in earnest. And he told me they had 30 days to do the deal. They got 2 hours into the diligence process. He said they decided then, within 2 hours, that the company was beyond saving.
When we started to, meet with these teams, which, by the way, it was like a bomb went off in that place. We're getting on calls, people are crying, even though, we were within the first 12 hours of this crisis for them. Their attorney quit within the first 2 hours of us setting up the data room. So it was complete pandemonium over there. And it was pretty obvious that once, Sam went, completely silent on them, the entire organization just fell to pieces.
So as you could see, after 2 hours, they saw it was a complete shambles. By the way, Binance was an early investor into FTX. And this is how the crypto works. One invests into the other. FTX had their own coin that tanked. It was worthless. And then, of course, FTX had its own company, Alameda, which was like a hedge fund. And that was in the Bahamas, and it was ran by a bunch of kids that didn't know what they were doing. All right, let's go back.
I think looking back on this now, one of two things are true. Either Sam was completely delusional, which I think was a lot of people think kind of Elizabeth Holmes, it was her mindset, or was so manipulative that he was able to, purposefully create this cult of personality around him and do whatever he deemed like a Bernie Madoff. There's no middle ground. It's one of the two. Which one of those two? I don't know. And I think that is really going to, decide whether, these investors were manipulated or negligent. I think it's probably more likely they're being manipulated.
Of course, Bernie Madoff was had one of the biggest Ponzi schemes ever in U.S. history. This is the same thing as a Ponzi scheme, except it's crypto. Now, it doesn't mean that crypto is evil, just like Bernie Madoff, his scandal, his Ponzi scheme didn't make money illegal. It's just bad actors in this space. All right, let's listen.
Why don't you take us back, if you could, to when you first got the call from Sam and you first had a chance to look at the books, because I think a lot of people are still trying to understand exactly what happened here. How much of this was about commingling? How much of this was about terrible marking of the books? What did you see?
Yeah, I think I got the call from Sam 48 hours after I made the tweet, and then he wanted to talk. So at the beginning, I thought he would just wanted to, do a buyout do an OTC deal to buy out the FTT tokens we had. And then he wanted actually a buyout of the entire firm, of the entire FTX platform. And then, but then we got our team on it. It was pretty clear pretty soon that there's misappropriation of user funds. The user funds are gone. At that point, it's clearly that he lied to his users, his investors, his VC investors, his employees. At that point, I thought I couldn't, whatever data that's in the data room, we couldn't trust anymore. So it was quite hard for us to do that due diligence. So we didn't go very far.
When you looked under the books, clearly it appears that he was demonstrably commingling funds, using the funds to leverage himself up and the like.
Yeah, I think, look, I didn't do the due diligence myself, but I think it will be very, very clear that Sam knows that he was using the user funds to do trading for Alameda, and he has been probably doing this for quite a while that nobody else knew until very recently. Well, a small number of people in FTX probably knew, but most of the other normal employees probably did not know. I think that's probably the most likely situation.
So a lot of these tokens are worthless. They use them for leverage. FTX used their token simply for leverage. So they took users' deposits and created their own token and lent money out through their own company, Alameda, and used it for leverage. So it was misappropriation of funds, what it really is. Now, he may face some jail time, but it won't be from the dog and pony show that they're going to have, I believe, by the end of this year. Let's look at where we are with crypto. Now, what I'm going to show you is very basic. I am not a crypto expert, but I just want to shine a light on some stages, all right? This whole crypto ecosystem, all right? And so we have 4 major stages for those of you that are new, right? We have accumulation stage, markup stage, and there's things that happens in this markup stage. And then we got distribution, and then we have markdown, right? And so we can eliminate 2 of these stages. We know we're not in the markup stage, and we know we're not in the distribution stage, right? We've had this last year, and we've had this all year, right? And so now, where are we? Are we here in the markdown stage, or are we in the accumulation stage? Well, the truth be told, it really doesn't matter. long as we buy between here and here, right? Between here and here. Of course, accumulation stage to me means exactly what it says, what we should be doing, which is accumulating here. And so the question is yours really to answer. But before you answer that, I want to show you another chart that I think is very important. There has been scandals in the past, right? And so this is a black swan, black swan, black swan. These are what's called black swan events, all right? And so I wasn't into crypto here, all right? So this was a scandal, a black swan event, right? And look at this. There was a 96% fall after crypto went up. And this is Bitcoin, all right? After Bitcoin went up, and Bitcoin is like, let's say it's like the Dow of crypto, right? Look at how far it fell during this black swan event. You're right. For those of you that were in this at this time. Here's what you need to know. You don't even need to know what these black swan events is. This one was COVID. All you need to know is there was a scandal and you lost 96% here. But look at the run up. All right. And then Bitfinex, that was another one that caused a 86% drop. Not a 86% drop in all, but during this period. So even with this 80% drop, it's higher than this drop. The bottom of this drop is higher than the top of this top, right? That's very important for you to know. So now, then, and here we go. So this was 2002 and 2013, and then from 2015 to 2019, another 84% drop, right? And then we know what happened in 2020, COVID, right? And then we had a drop here. But look at what's happening right now. FTX, another black swan event. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 of these black swan events. So what I'm saying to you is that we've been here before. And the cycles prove that when this is over, we have growth. When this is over, we have growth to come. And it doesn't make all of crypto bad. It's just bad actors and bad players in this space. Here's another one that shows it even clearer, right? The red is the fall. Look at this. It breaks it down into days. Look at that. In 2015, 633 days. Look at here. From 2018 to 2019, 361 days, right? And then 260, all right? And so it doesn't mean that it's going to follow this exact pattern every time. The question is do you believe in crypto? Do you believe in blockchain? Do you believe that there will be more adoption by institutions? I do believe. So right now, my money is not in any exchange. I have my money off the exchanges, and I'm just simply going to wait because I plan on accumulating during the accumulation stage. And I'm going to say something very controversial, and that is that it is a good thing that this house of cards that was stacked on FTX, right? It is a good thing that this happened now and not at the top. It is a good thing that this happened now. We were already in crypto winter before this happened. And this is just the tree shaking off the dead leaves. So the question is back to you now. When do you feel comfortable? So what I would say to you is that after it gets regulated, they will. I believe that they're going to regulate stablecoin when the dog and pony show is over on Capitol Hill. And I believe that that's going to open the door for institutions to come in. Now, we don't need them regulating all of crypto, just stablecoin, because it has to be backed by something. If that makes sense to you, leave me a comment. But I will say that right now we can accumulate. Right now, I just said that I'm not doing it right now because there's no end goal yet. I believe that this FTX debacle will happen. I think it's going to last until Christmas, to be honest with you. And then after Christmas, I'll think about getting back in because I don't need it to be to get it at the bottom. It may be at the bottom right now. No one knows. And if you think it's at the bottom, then you go ahead and proceed. And even when I think the coast is clear, I'm not putting all of my money back into crypto. I am going to DCA. And just like crypto, I believe the stock market is the same way. They are correlating together. We are going into a hard recession and we're going into the accumulation stage at the same time. So it gives us time to get our money together into dollar cost average in. That's my suggestion to you. But until we have an end goal, I always ask people, what is your end goal? Until we can have a clear view of where crypto is going, I don't have to get it at the bottom. Because some years down the road, when Bitcoin is 100,000, 150, 200, 250, I don't care if that's 7 years from now, it won't matter if you got Bitcoin at 16,000 or 18,000 or 14,000. It won't matter. All right. And so I'm going to leave it right there. But I will tell you, while you're doing your crypto, I suggest that everybody absolutely have some stock because stock are regulated and these exchanges are regulated. You cannot participate in the stock exchange and not be regulated. Come join us and cash up in Mumu. As you can see, they have an aggressive promotion going on right now. That will be the top link below. And we're simply putting cash in there right now. If this video has helped you in any way, let me know. Like I said, I'm not a crypto expert, but for those of you that know nothing about crypto, I just wanted to shine a light on this. All right. Hey, as always, live, love, laugh, and learn.